Breaking news here. NBC News has the documents from the search of Mar-a-Lago. Let's bring in NBC News Justice correspondent Ryan Riley. So, Ryan, you've got that doc. What does it tell you?
Well, we have three things going on here. There's I'm just going to read them off here. So there's U.S. Code 2071, which is concealment, removal, or mutilation. There's 793, which is gathering, transmitting, or losing national defense information. And then there's 1519, destruction or alteration or falsification of documents in federal investigation. So those are the three items that we now know that the former president of the United States was under suspicion for violating those laws. And there's a whole list. There's actually 28 items on this list here of items that were actually seized from the property. There's the description, obviously, of Mar-a-Lago itself, and then there's a rundown of exactly what they actually took, including, of course, top secret security information being the takeaway there, in addition to boxes of classified information. But it's really it's a pretty remarkable thing just to be going through this sort of remarkable moment in American history where a former president of the United States is under investigation or a suspicion of having possession at Mar-a-Lago of these documents, and pretty big news here.
So that's an understatement. So the warrant was issued a few days before the FBI actually executed the search. What do you make of that delay? If there were documents relating to nuclear weapons, TS, SCI documents, top secret, compartmented information, the most sensitive stuff the U.S. government says it has, what's the deal with that delay?
So I wouldn't put anything to that delay, actually, really, frankly, because, you know, this is a Friday to a Saturday, or it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they executed on a Monday, right? So this was actually issued midday on Friday. If we know anything about the FBI, it's like that they like to have all of their ducks in a row before they actually go through something like this, especially something as unprecedented as a search executed on the former president's estate. So they really wanted to make sure that they had that lined up. They don't just go into things willy-nilly. They don't do things by the seat of their pants. They have a very specific plan when they actually execute these. And, you know, it's a very common thing in terms of when someone having either an arrest warrant or a search warrant issued on a Friday that gets executed on a Monday. It would be highly unusual for them to actually do something like that over the weekend. And it didn't seem like there was any pressing reason for that Saturday or Sunday necessarily, especially if the president wasn't in town and was away, that there was a need to sort of execute that on a weekend, which would have been highly unusual to see Saturday or Sunday activity.
Can we confirm what the Wall Street Journal reported about what the agents took, the 20 boxes of items, the 11 sets of classified documents? You mentioned this, the various classified TS, SCI documents, again, that top secret stuff that has been compartmented, the stuff that you're only supposed to see when you are in a government facility, a top secret facility like a SCIF, not necessarily the private home and club of a former president of the United States. I know you're looking at your phone, Ryan, so I assume you literally just got this document a second ago. If you wouldn't mind just typing my email in there and forwarding it to me, I'd appreciate it so I can get a handle on it too. But what can you tell us?
Sure. So I'll just go through some of the highlights from here. There's an executive grant of clemency for Roger Stone. There's info on the president of France. There's miscellaneous secret documents, miscellaneous top secret documents, miscellaneous top secret documents again, miscellaneous confidential documents, miscellaneous secret documents, confidential document, miscellaneous secret documents, miscellaneous confidential documents, miscellaneous top secret documents, miscellaneous top secret documents. On that last one, someone accidentally added an E to the end of top, so it said Topi, but someone crossed it out and put the initials next to it to make sure that everything was checked out before they executed that search warrant, Katie.